Get answers from the experts. It's time for Small Business Friday. The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WPSL. WPSL does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WPSL. Call in with your questions and comments at 340-1590. 340-1590. Now, here's your host.
Hi, Veronica. How are you today?
Doing good. How are you? Welcome back.
I'm great, thank you. I want to welcome all of our listeners. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Ken Greenville. I'm with Express Printing of Port St. Lucie, conveniently located at between Sam's Club and Walmart, right on US 1. Drive by, stop into the shop and see us. We'd love to have you.
And it's the Express Printing edition of Small Business Friday.
And this is the Express Printing edition of Small Business Friday.
It is.
There's two things. One, we're going to continue on our gratitude opportunities for all of our listeners so that they can call in and say thank you to a local merchant that has serviced them well. And we encourage you to do that. Because we think that a lot of small businesses don't get that word of mouth as much as they deserve, and so we want to give our listeners that opportunity.
So a little plug for a business that did them good.
Little plug for business that did them good.
Great.
In fact, I'm going to start off with that today. I want to say thank you to the people at Showcase Granite and Tile. They came out to my house, very small job. Now, I live up in Vero, so it's kind of a haul. Mm-hmm. And they came out to my house and did a small granite job for me, and their people were just amazingly clean, fast, professional, did a wonderful job, and I can't thank Jane and the people over there enough. If you'd like to get in touch with Showcase, you can get them at 468-9908, and I can highly recommend. Great service, great people. Give them a call. From there, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about once you've established your business or you're in business and you want to move forward with your business, you really have a choice at that point. And the choice...
Staying with the theme of build your brand, build your
brand,
business.
build your business.
Yes.
You can either choose to lead or you can choose to follow. The follow is pretty simple. Mm-hmm. It's a survival strategy of how to keep your business moving, offering the same kinds of things that your competition offers, and then you stay viable only because you're doing it too. So they can get the latest and greatest widget that somebody else presented and to the public by coming to your place as well. Mm-hmm. And that strictly is a survival tactic. The other alternative is to be a leader. And people go, well, I'd love to be a leader. How do you become a leader? Well, first of all, it's an attitude. Mm-hmm. It's an attitude of understanding that you're moving your business forward. And we've spoken to the subject of progress as being, it's only progress if you're moving in the right direction. It's not necessarily progress just because you're moving. So moving your business forward is, with a leadership strategy, is always anticipating what's the next best thing. In the past, we've had conversations about opportunities to invest in a cell phone protective cover. 15 years ago, people would have gone, what? Mm-hmm. But a visionary would say, well, if cell phones are moving forward, what else are they going to need? So whether you're in landscaping or you're in tile or any type of a retail business, you need to continually anticipate what's next. In fact, I have a client that recently came into our shop that has a business that is focused strictly on radio control vehicles, cars, boats, those kinds of things, and drones. Mm-hmm. And the drone selection that they have is, I wouldn't have thought that there were that many possibilities. But with cameras, without cameras, that just fly and hover, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like,
Do you remember when it used to be fun with a little car that was on the wire?
Oh,
You
yeah.
held the controller, but you had to run behind it because it was on a wire.
That's how I got my exercise. I don't do that anymore.
Kids used to have toys that were actually wired.
Yeah. But my days go back to Pong. So,
Well, yeah, me too.
in any event, what they've done is they have anticipated, and they've actually been in the drone supply business, if you will, from an amateur perspective as hobbies for several years. So several years ago, they anticipated that, this is going to be the next best thing. So in terms of a strategy to lead, just as an example, somebody may be looking at that drone industry and saying, well, do they need cases? Do they need different controllers? Can the controllers do this, that? Are there other brands? What opportunities lie out in front of a business that's being defined by current purchases? Where is that going to bring them? What's the next tier? What's the next level? And that's how leadership in a business starts. Understanding, going to shows, seeing what manufacturers are offering, what they're anticipating. They spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars internationally every year to try to assess and anticipate where are their marketplaces going. And that's a very, very, very important thing for businesses. Once you have a business, you need products. You have to have products to make your business go forward. So if you're in the tile business today, and all you're going to offer is white 4x4 ceramic tiles, you might periodically sell something like that to somebody. But the likelihood of you being successful in that business, in my opinion, is reduced by the fact that you're not contemporary. Your business isn't contemporary. And you might argue, well, that's the Me Too. And that's okay. You can be Me Too to be competitive. That's part of your survival. If you don't survive, you can't grow forward. But the next tier is what should I be anticipating? It's funny because many, many years ago when I was in the building business, tin ceilings and tin related type stamping products were a part of the decor that people were selecting for their homes.
Because everything old is new again.
Correct. And now we're back into the fact that people want tin backsplashes and tin ceilings and tin accessorizing in their homes.
Or that new tile that looks like wood.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's a brilliant change. I mean, when I was in the building and construction business, I know that I had a number of clients that wanted wood in their bathroom floor on their floors, and you think about it, and those things don't necessarily go together. But I've always been of the mind.
But see, I've got that feeling that 10 years down the road, people are going to go, "Oh, that's so 2016."
Yes, and then
what will be the new thing?
Correct.
So that's what you're saying is try to anticipate what might be the next big thing.
Something simple like tiles in shower enclosures, very big thing. Marble and tile. Well, here in Florida, and not just here in Florida, actually, and everywhere, bathtub enclosures and shower enclosures are subject to mold and mildew and growth. There's a company up north called Latacrete International. Many years ago, I say many, 5 years ago, their lab technicians decided that what they were going to do is make a grout that wouldn't allow mold and mildew growth. So, and they did, and they've been very, very successful, and they've actually grown at multi-levels internationally because their product solves a problem. And they anticipated that more and more people are going to these types of surface treatments for their showers and bath enclosures, and they're going to need something to augment that. So instead of coming up with new scrubbing bubbles of some sort, they came up with a product that literally makes it so that you don't need to worry about that.
Right.
They anticipated the next tier of need based upon what was happening in the marketplace. And leadership is always about anticipating what's forward. I think I mentioned in the past that I'm the inventor of record for 8 different patents. primarily in the label-related industry. It was a business that I was in, and I did product development primarily so that I could print it. Mm-hmm. It was, I'll come up with a new thing that I can fill my presses with. The last patent that I actually processed was probably 10 or 12 years ago. And the reason that I didn't stop coming up with ideas, I just stopped applying for patents for a couple of reasons. One, a solid patent can still be broken, and it just becomes a path of litigation, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Unless you have something really, truly unique and independent, the likelihood that somebody else is thinking of the same thing is pretty strong.
Okay. Or
has some other iteration of what you're trying to accomplish. But the other thing is that with the speed of information today that happens in all of our media, you start a patent process, and it's going to take you a year. That's why they offer a provisional patent, but you have to do something within a year. 1 year in contemporary media is like light years, 10 or 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. So you can spend the next year trying to protect your idea, and then the marketplace moves past you. And so it becomes, you got to be very careful in spending that kind of money. But it's still an attempt at leadership, trying to stay out in front, trying to anticipate. And I think that I've shared before that one of the patents that I do hold, was for an encapsulation device that protected printing from water hitting it and running off your photograph.
Okay.
Because early on, inkjet printers were printing great photos,
and
but if you ever got it wet, yeah. So I developed this little thing that would put the photo inside of an envelope and protect it.
Okay.
Well, by the time it got to the marketplace, the guys with more money, deeper pockets, and more creativity than me developed inks that wouldn't do that.
Yeah, the ink people figured out that they needed to stay ahead.
That's correct. So in the meantime, I spent $13,000 constructing a patent and getting all the drawings and the iterations put into place, only to find that by the time I got that protection, it was useless in the marketplace. The other thing is what I said before, is that when you have a business, you have to have products. You have to fill that channel with a continuous stream of products. Manufacturers around the world understand that. Rubbermaid, for example. Rubbermaid has massive injection molding capability throughout the world. They're an example of a company that every time you go into the local department store, Rubbermaid seems to have another product. Whether everything from a spatula to a garbage can to a tote bins to coolers, you name it, they're utilizing their resources and their manufacturing capabilities to continually fill that channel of molded plastic products. They have to, if they stop doing that, they're out of business. So for the local merchant or the local business person, they need to be involved in the manufacturing level of what's next. What are these people working on? What are they developing? What is the next thing that I want to offer? And that's the difference between leadership and Me Too. Again, and I will say it again, there's nothing wrong with a Me Too approach to your business, because your business has to survive in order to lead. But if you want to grow your business, anticipation becomes a very, very important part of what we're doing. And to understand that differentiation, it doesn't happen by accident. It's a strategy that you develop within. It's a tactical part of marketing your business. We talked about building your brand as your primary strategy. Here's my brand. It's Express Printing. What we're continually trying to do at Express is coming up with new things to offer and print that other people don't. And we've very rapidly become known in this community that we're the go-to people. If you need something strange or weird or fast or whatever, go down to Express. If they can't do it, nobody can. Mm-hmm. And that becomes part of the tactical. We're going to take a break for a minute, and when we come back, we're going to talk. Hopefully, we'll get some calls of gratitude for local merchants, and we're going to talk about some other things about building your business.
Are you thinking about a new business card, a postcard or invite, a brochure, sign, a banner, or something else that needs to be printed? Have you been thinking about getting t-shirts or other apparel for your group, charity, or special event? Don't know where to start? Express Printing can help. Express Printing of Port St. Lucie has the widest selection of printed items anywhere. Stop by their shop on US 1 between Sam's Club and Walmart. Their staff will help you with everything from design to completion. And with the fastest delivery and price match guarantee, you'll quickly see why Express Printing is simply the best printing value anywhere on the Treasure Coast. At Express Printing, they're real printers, not just a storefront that sends things overseas and takes 10 to 14 days. Need a design? No problem. It's your design, your way, not some template on a screen. On paper, so you can actually feel it and make sure it's what you want. So the next time you need printing, trust Express Printing. Call 878-7975 and remember, they'll even come to you.
And you're listening to Small Business Friday here on WPSL Digital 1590. This week it is Build Your Brand, Build Your Business. Back to your host, Ken from Express Printing.
And welcome back. We talked a little bit about before the break about being Me Too or strategically taking a leadership position. And we're going to talk about that more in some other shows, but just some food for thought in that. And one of the other things that we want to do, because we're here to help people to learn how to grow their business. About 2 years ago, one of my customers came in to me and said, you really need to think about becoming part of this referral group. And I went, well, tell me about it. And she told me about how the group works, and it's a dedicated set of specific merchants that join and pay money and to become members. And I kind of thought about it, and I said, how much is it? So she told me how much it was, and I went, wow, that's really a lot of money. She goes, trust me. It's going to come back to you multifold. So Cindy and I talked about it, and Cindy is the brains behind Express Printing. And we kind of figured that if it worked, we really weren't in a position at that point in time to respond. Because anything that you do when you grow your business, you got to remember you have to deliver. So it's wonderful to go out and tell everybody how great you are and how fast you are and et cetera. But if you can't back up your words, then you're not going to get a second opportunity. They're going to remember what you messed up.
And then they're going to tell friends.
That's right. And that seems to grow far faster than the good things that you do. So about 6 months went by, and we kind of got our act together in terms of acquiring additional equipment and different things that we could do to increase our capacity. And we had a better understanding of how things were working inside the store and with our client base. And I said, you know what, maybe it's time to give this a second thought. So I visited the local referral group, and I was really pretty impressed the fact that this group had about 20 to 25 different local businesses with a common theme. They want to help each other to grow their business. And I said, well, I got to sell a lot of business cards to make this pay off. But it was interesting, and I stuck with it, and I did join. And I want to tell you something. If you're a small merchant and you're really looking for a way of growing your business, don't overlook the networking capabilities that you will gain, whether it's a referral group or the Chamber of Commerce or any of the other local organizations of businesses. The main reason is you're all there for the same reason. You don't have to be bashful. You're there to grow your business. You're there to give each other leads and opportunities. Now, I'm coming up on a year, and I will tell you that my membership, just through the group alone, was more than paid for within the first, I'm going to say 30 days. That's because they trusted that what I was doing. They knew that I had a common interest in growing my business. And they gave me the opportunity to prove that we would do what we said that we would do. And it's worked out very, very, very well. And so much so that I'm happy that I can. One of the things that I've been doing is offering at a moment of this show the opportunity to take one of the people from my group that I think has done an exceptional job and can do that for our listeners. And this week, What I'd like to do is I want to thank Christy Romano. Now, Christy is she's a mortgage broker. And in my shop, my graphic savant is Jerry. And Jerry does tremendous things for a lot of people, and he's really a vital part of our team. Well, recently he and his wife were going to buy a house, and they went to the big box bank, because that's what we're conditioned to do.
What you think you do, yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that. And he wanted a 15-year mortgage, and they wouldn't even talk to him. Mm-hmm. They gave him more excuses and more reasons why you can't have it, you won't qualify, and they didn't really know the details at all. But they wanted to sell him a 30-year mortgage. He didn't want that.
Well, because in the end, they make more money.
Oh, correct. So he was telling me this, and I said, well, that's really weird. I would have thought that, being your bank, that they would want to be helpful to you. I said, so why don't you give Christy Romano a call? He goes, Christy Romano, isn't she somebody that we had done some working on some brochures for? I said, yeah, same girl. But that's what her business is. And she's always saying in the group that if you're having trouble getting a mortgage, give her a call. She'll work with you. So needless to say, Jerry contacted Christy, and the next day he said, wow, she started telling me I'm qualified.
And he got the mortgage he wanted.
And he got the mortgage,
instead of the one they wanted to push him into.
At a lower rate because Christy did the job. That's her business. Mm-hmm. She knows all the products that are out there. And that's one of the things that, so to Christy, I personally say thank you. And if you are having difficulty getting a mortgage, you can give her a call at 954-260-8705. And I'm sure that she'll work with you in whatever way you need. And I don't know all the finer details of all the things and all the programs that she has to offer. That's her job. But I can tell you that she'll work hard for you. She's an honest person in a field of maybe people that aren't so honest, and I can highly recommend her out of that group. And that's the benefit of what referral groups do, is you're given an opportunity to meet other people that are not competing with you, that will assist you in growing your business. So if you are a small business, don't overlook them, and don't get hung up on the price tag, and you sit down and do the math. You've heard me say that over and over again. Do the math in your business. Find out if it makes sense for you, what kind of business you're going to have, what kind of referral group. And guess what? It doesn't cost you a penny to go and visit the groups.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So look them up, whatever they are, wherever they are, whatever organization they're part of. They're going to be happy to have you as a visitor. They'll probably give you something to eat. They'll go through the process of how they work, and I think that you can tremendously benefit from it. So referral programs is an excellent way to grow your business. Mm-hmm. Now, moving from there, from the perspective of express printing, because of these referral groups, it has helped us to become leaders in this community in terms of print. And we'll talk a little bit more about that after the break. We're going to take another break.
Yeah, we'll take a break for news.
For national news?
It's Florida State.
Florida State news. Mm-hmm. Okay. And when we come back from the break, I'll tell you how that referral group process has helped us.
Super. Thank you. We're listening to Small Business Friday here on WPSL Digital 1590. And this week on Small Business Friday, it's Build Your Brand, Build Your Business. If you do have questions or comments, call in at 340-1590. We're going to break for Florida news. We'll be back with more here on WPSL 1590. Now back to Small Business Friday on WPSL Digital 1590. It's Build Your Brand, Build Your Business. We're in the studio with Ken from Express Printing. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, listeners. Listen, I have an infinite faith in humanity, and which is one of the reasons that I've felt that this is an opportunity for the local people that are listening, and I know there are people out there listening that are grateful to their local merchants. And don't be bashful. 340-1590. Call in. I'll give you an opportunity to say thank you to those merchants. They may or may not be listening, but at least you've done the right thing by doing that. I can't believe that everybody's disappointed or unhappy with the people that they buy from day to day. So whether it's one of those big box stores and a special person that took care of you, or a small local merchant that's gone out of their way on your behalf, or your landscaper or whoever. Don't be bashful. Call and say thank you to them, and let other people know that because they work hard to grow their businesses, and that's what we're here for in this segment, is to help businesses grow their business. And nothing grows business better than positive things from the customers. So please call. And I want to continue on to the referral component and what it's done for us in terms of the two things may seem to be unrelated, but the Me Too or lead and the referral component are actually related in my brain, as weird as that may be. But we have a captive audience in the referral group that we belong to of about 20 different businesses that from all walks of life, from lawyers to mortgage people to alarm companies to computer repair people. And surprisingly enough, each one of these merchants has a different set of needs. And what it's done for our business is shown us that if we want to truly be leaders in the local print community, and understand, we're constantly competing. Our biggest competitor is the internet. Mm-hmm. As sad as that may be, people over and over and over again come in and go, oh, I can get this and I can do that, and it's online. And the truth is at the end of the day, once you've gone through that process and spent your time doing it, it's going to cost you more. It's going to cost you more for the ultimate purchase, when you add the freight to it, the time that you have to wait, and the horror stories of how many people get those things from the internet and it went wrong. So I encourage you.
Well, it probably went wrong because that first person who decided to market their business by getting their printing on the internet, they're not a printer.
Correct. They're there to sell you something.
And they're going to give you whatever you want, where your idea might not be the best thing once translated into print.
Yeah, and as an example of that, we just yesterday, in fact, we finished a print job for a program for an ordination of a church in Fort Pierce, from a religious organization in Fort Pierce. The layout was given to us, and we put it in the order that they wanted us to put it in. Mm-hmm. And when I printed out the one sample, when I looked at it, I said, this just doesn't make sense. This page should precede this page. And the more I looked at it, the more I said, it just doesn't make sense this way. Okay. It doesn't fit there. So I called the client and I said, listen, I'm sending you a proof the way you wanted me to do it, but I want to offer to you that page 1 and 2 should be reversed. And she goes, well, let me take a look at it. So she took a look at it and she goes, you know what? You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. That's not something you're going to get online. That's something that, from our experience, we're standing face to face with our client. We understand what they want to accomplish. We understand what they're trying to, the result that they're trying to get to. And it's kind of our job. We're not the best at finding all your spelling errors, particularly if I'm doing it. Or even some of the grammar that people use. Mm-hmm. But we'll point it out. Do you really need that word, or is that what you really want to say, or whatever, when we catch it? I mean,
I've seen things that have been given to me, and I look at it and I go, this would have looked so much better had they centered it better.
Right.
Or there's like little things that are just not quite right.
Correct. And we have a great number of people, and we're professional graphic designers and printers. Mm-hmm. And what makes us professional is real simple. We get paid to do this. So the expectation of our trade is higher than the person that has Microsoft Publisher or Microsoft Word or some drawing program that they have.
The computers and the internet have made us all think we're good at everything.
Correct.
And that's really not the case, because even in our business, we get some people who go, well, I can record that commercial on my iPhone and send it to you, right? No.
And whereas it's always a good starting point to work with somebody's general design because it gives us a head start.
Right.
All of our print jobs include 30 minutes of computer time because we know that we're going to spend at least that getting it aligned and positioned where, for example, one of the big online printers of business cards will tell you can get business cards for $9.99. Well, the first thing is, no, you can't. You get a sale of $9.99, and then they're going to add $20 for freight. And by the time you get it, if it's right.
Right. And if you're not happy with that lowest grade of paper and you want something a little nicer, or if you want it glossy, or if you want this or that.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that we confront all the time. The difference is that when you come into our shop and you put that business card in front of us, we're going to ask you questions that's going to make it look better for you. Do you really need this? Do you really need... One of the biggest things that I tell people all the time, they come in, they go, I want one of those big, thick business cards. And I said, really? Why? And they go, well, because that's what they say separates you. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Open up your wallet. Tell me how many of those big, thick business cards you've kept. Well, none. Why? Because they're too thick. We've talked before about a business card's purpose. A business card's purpose is not to sell a customer. Your business card is to say, this is how to get in touch with me once you already know that you're going to buy from me. And the best business card is the one that your client is going to keep. Arguably, attorneys will have a certain look and feel of linens that they want to use with simple black, crisp lines. A graphic designer is going to want flowy color and those kinds of things. Some people want their business stated on the front and a bullet list of services on the back.
And realtors like their picture.
Yes. And usually it's not a picture that's recent.
No. What's funny is we all get that, though.
I know. My best friend in Connecticut is a realtor, and he's been a realtor about 40 years. And the picture that's on his business card is the same picture that he used 40 years ago.
Sure.
And I keep telling him, I said, you know what, you need to update that. Nah, it's fine. They know it's me.
Yeah, but realtors are selling themselves too,
Correct.
so it's a good idea to have your picture on the card.
That's right, and that's actually how a realtor will differentiate their brand, because their brand is not Remax, it's not Century 21, it's not any of the
and it's
names.
not any particular product either, because the homes are always different.
That's correct. So they're branding themselves with their picture, which is great, and believe it or not, that's one of the arguments as to why you don't want to change your picture very frequently, because it's part of your brand.
Okay.
And we've had conversations about how we want to protect our brand at all times. We can tactically change what we do. The realtor can move from residential to commercial or offer mortgages and expand their services, but their brand is still their picture, their mug, who they are in that business. And so when people come in, the primary thing that we do differently than most other people is we're not selling you some template that you can sit down and design your own business card. Do they look great? Yeah, sure. Will you have continuity? Does it help you build your brand? Are you really becoming unique if you're using the same business card that somebody else is using? And surprisingly enough, and people don't realize this, the templates that are put out there for a reason, because they appeal to the greatest numbers of people. They're not unique. So the likelihood of you seeing your business card with somebody else's name on it it's pretty high if you're going to use online services. I guess the important point that I want to make for Express Printing is we are an alternative. If you come in and you have that, and you're that rare exception that has your business card designed, it's all set for printing, we'll do a color card for $14.99. What's the frequency that occurs? Very, very. In fact, I would say in the last 2 years, it's not occurred at all. There's always some level, well, it's the same except I want to do. Well, when you get into the except I want to do, you know, that half hour of Mac time that
you're doing a new card.
Yeah, you're starting over. So if you want to dot an I that wasn't I, or correct the spelling, or make the phone number a little bit bigger, we have to go into the file, take it apart. It's not a matter of just going in there and typing it like it is in Microsoft Word, but that's what we're trained to do. We're professionals at it. We're not perfect. It still comes down to the client's responsibility to proof their own business card, but we can give you a creative element that you're not going to get online, and you can, as our recent ad says, you can actually feel and touch the papers that we can use as a standard paper, a heavy paper, glossy paper, linens, whatever. We have mountains and mountains of papers, believe me, of different colors and different thicknesses, and that's not something you're ever going to get on the internet.
Right.
So there's reasons why you go to a local shop, and then where we're at is just positioned very conveniently, easy to get to. And very, very few people will say.
I'm sure that there's a difference in the disappointment factor. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there who got them on the internet who are disappointed.
Yeah, well, I challenge that person to call and try to get it done right. We'll guarantee that we're going to get it right for you. Well, try and see what that takes. It already took you 10 days to get your business card where your name is spelled wrong. And now you want to try to get in touch with a human being that you can say, you spelled my name wrong. Go do it, and you'll see the difference. If we spelled your name wrong, and I'm not going to tell you for a second that we don't get things wrong, we do. There's two things that are different. One, we're not going to charge you. If we made a mistake, there's just no hesitation. We're just going to redo it for you, period. At our cost. It's not going to cost you anything. If you made the mistake, you're as human as we are. We will never profit twice off of any customer. So if you made a mistake in your business card and you have to come in and get it corrected, we'll reprint it for you at cost. We will not reprint it. We already decided when you came in the first time that we were willing to do it for a certain price, and that included our profit because that's why we're in business. We don't feel ethically that we're entitled to profit off of your mistake. And so we'll never charge somebody for when they make a mistake.
Plus, you've got that proof to look at.
Yes, well, Jerry yells at me all the time because he sends a proof religiously to everybody, and inevitably it comes in and we do exactly what they said. Yes, this looks great, and we print it, and they come in and go,
I didn't see something.
The date's not there, or the time, it's not a Tuesday, it's a Wednesday, or something else that they were given multiple opportunities to correct, and they still don't. Guess what? We still won't profit off of that error. It's just not the nature of who we are. We're going to take a break again, and we'll be back in a minute.
Express Printing in Port St. Lucie is proud to present Startup Talk from Indian River State College. You see Express Printing in its new US 1 location in the Chris Plaza, just south of the Boulevard across from Walmart, is the one-stop shop for entrepreneurs throughout the Treasure Coast. Whether you're starting a business or building one, Express Printing can offer insight on how to separate you from your competition. Let Express Printing help you rebrand your business as well. The backbone of America is its entrepreneurial spirit, shared by Express Printing and Indian River State College. Express Printing in a newer and larger facility to assist entrepreneurs. Express Printing, 878-7975. That's 878-7975. Express Printing. Look for the red sign that says, "We come to you."
Now back to Build Your Brand, Build Your Business. It's Small Business Friday here on WPSL. We've got Ken from Express Printing in the studios. Welcome back.
Welcome back to our listeners. I want to again remind you, call in and say thank you to your merchants. And I'm not going to let that go. I really believe that now I'm going to say you have a responsibility to do it, because these people really do work very, very hard. And I appreciate the fact that we don't have a number of people calling in saying bad things about local merchants.
Oh, let's don't open
we're not
those
going
phone
there.
No.
But I know that there's good things because I hear it all the time. People refer people. They come into my shop. This person, that person's doing great things. And so give them a call. Give us a call and let them know that you value and appreciate
and it's 340-1590?
That's correct, 340-1590. We're just going to continue on a little bit about the ethical part of your business. One of the sad things is that, you can't make everybody happy. Try as you will, being in business for yourself, you try every single day to do the best job you can. Some people have bad days, and I'm not going to tell you that there aren't evil people in the world that are just going to give our local merchants. They're going to try to negotiate everything or take advantage. Which is, by the way, something that coming from the Northeast, I'm just not used to. I'm just not used to that component where everything in Florida seems to be a negotiation. It's $10. I'll give you $5. No. So our new strategy at Express Printing is it's $10. The answer, I'll give you $5. It's now $12.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you're going to give me $6.
Yeah.
So now it's $15. So we're going to try a reversed negotiation process, pricing process. But anyway, in operating your business, I know sometimes things happen that are going to cost you money. Try not to look at it as a loss. And this is Ken speaking to our listeners and the business people out there. Look at it as an investment. Jerry yells at me. I was starting to say before, Jerry yells at me because we send the proof, we print it, and it's wrong, and then the customer comes in, they want to blame us for it. And he'll always say, I sent the proof. And yeah, I know, Jer. But we're still going to reprint it, and we're going to do what it costs. Well, that's why do we send the proof? Well, because we want to give everybody as much of an opportunity as they can to get it right. That's how we differentiate ourselves. One of those steps is take a look at it. We have a big disclaimer at the bottom with our logo, and it says, you are responsible, and we'll send that multiple times. But guess what? It still gets messed up. So we have a conscious choice. Now, I will tell you there may be people listening that are going to say, that's not true. Express Prisons charge me full. Well, you know what? We're human too. And if somebody comes in and we know that we've gone out of our way to try to accommodate what they're doing, and they're going to be mean and nasty about it, then I'll reprint it, but I'm going to charge you for it. We build relationships with our clients. We don't sell printing. The vast majority, I would say 80% of the business that comes into Express Printing is repeat business. I'm gratified to say that now we're about 20% of the business that's coming in is new business. And I think a lot of that's because of our location, our presence on WPSL, our participation in the word-of-mouth extensions of our referral programs, my little red car that drives around the community that everybody sees, our signage. There's so many reasons why there are new people coming into Express all the time.
Well, part of it might also be that the economy is very, very tight.
Yes.
And you need every edge.
Yes.
So maybe people are going back to basics and going, I need these things.
That's true.
To push
and they're
forward.
and they know that they have to. They're trying to lead in their businesses. They're trying to do more to grow their business. And some of them are just trying to survive. And that's okay too, because we can help those people. But it's very interesting because first of all, we've seen a tremendous increase. We do blueprints and wide format printing. And the numbers of people that have come in with for blueprints for new projects, both residential and commercial, is astounding. I thought last year was good. And one of our clients does a lot of work commercially that last year they were in like every other week with mega drawings that they needed printed. And their business went down the tank. And I went, wow, man, did this happen because we moved or whatever? So I actually gave them a call, and they said, oh, no, last year was the bidding process. Now we're building all those things.
Okay.
6 months from now, we'll be bidding again.
Okay.
So
that phase of their business has come to a trickle, but they're booming on the other end.
Right. And we're still their printer of record.
Right.
When they still need stuff and they need forms and business cards and letterhead and those kinds of things, they give us a call. But the blueprint component of what they were doing has turned down.
They're creating those masterpieces.
Yes. So we are seeing a tremendous number of road projects, commercial projects that are in the bidding stages, which is great for the community because that translates into sustainable growth for the community. It's not just the seasonal growth, which we're coming into season. So as we come into season and the local businesses increase their volume, they need more menus, they need more business cards, they need new brochures. They want to talk about the new things that are out in front of them, and that's why we're there to help. So that our business grows exponentially. And we have positioned ourselves to be a reliable company that is fast. Our extended slogan now is real printers, real fast, real value, and we will come to you. If we respect and understand that small businesses often can't get out of their store, we'll come and talk to you. We'll sit down and have our graphics people come to you, and which makes it very convenient. We really try to feel and understand, get a feel and an understanding of everybody's business, and that's the difference between the business cards that we print. And we're not just giving you a template that you can sit down over the computer there.
Fill in your name.
We actually thought about doing that. We put a computer out in the front, and we said, you know what, we can buy these templates, and people can go on and they can sit down and design their own. And we decided that that was so contrary to who we are as a small business that we were playing into the hands of all those other people that we're trying to compete against. And that's part of how we're trying to lead in the local print market. And strategically, I think that all small businesses have a responsibility to make a decision as far as their tactical marketing. Do I want to survive or do I want to grow? And if I want to grow, as Einstein said that doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is a definition of insanity. Well, it's true. It is. It's a definition of insanity. You have to do something. And you know what? Not everything works. Not everything is successful. And none of it's easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. But don't be afraid to fail. If you do something and it fails, now you know you've just eliminated something you're not going to do
it again.
The next time. I think Edison was the one that said that he had failed over. Somebody said to him, "How do you feel about failing 1,000 times?" He goes, "It's just the process of elimination. There's 1,000 things I'm not going to do now, and it gets me closer and closer to being successful at the one thing that I am trying to do."
I think the other thing is if you're a small business owner and you're spending time trying to pull your marketing materials together, you're not putting time really into what you do. Come and turn that over to professionals who can help you brand your business.
Exactly. The last thing in the world that you need to do is work your 10 or 12-hour day in your shop and then go home and sit down in front of a computer and settle for somebody else's look and feel because you know you need business cards. It's not something you have to do. It's not something, and at the end of the day, even if it happened that it cost you saved $5, is your time worth more than $5? To get the guidance?
It's more than business cards. It could be pamphlets, banners. You do banners as well?
Yes, we do a full array of banners, both some very proprietary ones and full-size banners. We'll do 10 by 10s. We'll do retractable banners. We do invites. We do wedding invitations. Oftentimes, people come in and they look at our stock wedding invitations from the thermographers, and they see the prices of those, and they go, "Oh my God, that's crazy." Well, very often we can take that client and we'll kind of take a design and we'll work around it, and we'll give them something very close, more in their budget or more cost-effective for them. So it makes it easier for them to get kind of what they want at a lot less money. And again,
what if I like two different invitations? Could you take a little from this one and a little from that one? See,
and that's where our design staff is really very gifted. Is that they get a feel and an understanding of what you are really looking for: colors, shapes, dimensions, and that's what we do different. So that's express printing. Again, we get back to the essence of. Make a decision as to whether or not you want to lead or follow. If you want to follow, there's nothing wrong with following. Just know that it's a survival tactic to your business. Growing your business requires tactics that are going to grow your business. Don't be afraid to fail at what you try. It's just a process of elimination. Okay, that didn't work completely. Let's try something different. And don't give up. You've worked too hard and too long at building your business and getting it to the point that it's at. Don't surrender. Put your time and effort into it.
And Build Your Brand, Build Your Business is always the fourth Friday of the month.
Correct.
And give us the location of the store and how to get a hold of you.
The address is 10800 It's actually Northwest Federal Highway, if you're going to put it in the GPS, which is actually US 1, South US 1. We're located on the V of Leonard Road, halfway between Walmart and Sam's Club.
So in that little triangle.
A little triangle. Second Plaza up and Chris Plaza.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you so much.